Yesterday we had studied about the covalent bonding and polar and non-polar covalent bonding we had studied it. Today we will do about the unique nature of carbon. As you know that carbon's atomic number is 6, electronic configuration is 2,4. So carbon has 4 valence electrons in the outermost orbit. Carbon is having 6 electronic configuration 2,4. So we can say that carbon is having 4 valence electrons in the outermost orbit. And remember, it has got 6 protons in its nucleus. Understood? So there are two options. The carbon should get the stable configuration, either it needs 4 electrons or it must lose 4 electrons. So two options are there. Now let us take the first option. What is going to happen if it is going to gain 4 electrons? Now let's take it. The 6 protons in its nucleus and that is getting 4 more electrons, the total number of electrons becomes 10. Understood? And the nuclear force is very less. So how could it be possible for that carbon atom to keep 10 electrons with it? That is rather little impossible. To keep 10 electrons along with this nucleus is rather difficult. So it is not possible for the carbon to keep its 4 extra electrons. 4 extra electrons in gaining it means it cannot form anion. That is not possible. And why it cannot get the cation formation? Now, as I said earlier, the losing of an electron requires energy, losing of another electron requires energy, and if 4 electrons are to be lost, the amount of energy needed is too much. And if that much amount of energy is available, then what is likely to take place? The atom is not going to lose any electrons. So, the forming of cations and forming of anions as far as carbon is concerned is impossible. Understood clearly? Remember, if it has to gain 4 electrons, then it will get the stable configuration to form an anion, which require very large amount of energy. And if it has to lose 4 electrons from the cation, that also will be requiring tremendous amount of energy which may not be available. So losing or gaining is impossible. Therefore, how it is going to get stable configuration? Only option left is, that means what I have, carbon cannot form ionic bond in any situation. And the only option left is it can form covalent bond. We are studying it earlier. The covalent bond is a bonding that is formed with the sharing of electrons. So it could share the electrons in the stable configuration. You understood it clearly? So carbon can share. Now, and that is what is the unique nature of carbon. So what we have to say that the unique property of carbon. Carbon forms extremely large number of compounds. The number of carbon compounds is very, very large in comparison with that of the inorganic compounds. So, due to the unique property. And what is this unique property? The first one is tendency to form carbon-carbon bond. That means, we have studied it earlier, the carbon linked with other carbon atom, understood? Carbon links with other carbon atoms to form covalent bond. The self-linking of carbon atom is known as catenation. So carbon can form catenation or carbon can form bond with other carbon atoms. Carbon has the unique property to form bonds with other carbon atoms. This property of bonding with the same atom, same element is known as catenation. And as far as all the elements are known, only one which forms the catenation property is only the carbon. Understood it? The self-linkage property of carbon. That means one carbon atom linked with other carbon atom, and that property is known as catenation. This is because strong covalent bond, carbon bonds as compared to other atoms. Understood it clearly? Carbon atoms can combine with one another. They form different types of chains. What have I told you? Carbon links with other carbon atoms through the covalent bond. And due to the covalent bond, what is there? Carbon can form straight chains, that is branch chain, or even closed chain or ring chain. That is, you know that we are studying carbon needs 4 electrons to complete object. So it will be sharing electron. Now, when the sharing takes place, what is taking place? The carbon can share its electron. We are studying single covalent bond. So, in this method, the carbon chain is formed, which is an open chain. The same similar type of chain can be formed. It can form the branch chain. It it can form the branch chain also. Or it can form the chain in the ring structure, carbon, it can combine in the form of ring structure also. Understood? So those hydrocarbons or carbon compounds where the chain is open, they are known as aliphatic hydrocarbons. Aliphatic. Now remember what we are doing is hydrocarbons, carbon and hydrogen, compounds of carbon and hydrogen. So when carbon forms chain with other carbon atoms and the chain is open or the chain is branched one, and such type of compounds are known as aliphatic hydrocarbons. And another one, when the carbon chain is in the form of ring structure, they are known as aromatic hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons, that means a carbon forms a catenation, and due to the catenation, we can have the carbon chain, open chain, branch chain, or the closed chain or ring structure. Have you understood it clearly? This is. It may be noted that no other element this property of catenation, as I told you, due to the extent observed in carbon. Now let's take the case of silicon. Silicon, as I discussed it earlier, silicon has got its atomic number 14, the electronic configuration 284. Silicon needs 4 electrons to complete the octet. But what happens in silicon is 2, 8, 4. The nucleus is over here with the 14 protons and the valence electrons are far away from the nucleus. So the nucleus exerts lesser force of attraction. The force of attraction exerted by the silicon's nucleus to the valence electron is less. Therefore, what is likely to take place? The silicon can lose the electron. So that is the reason. When that option comes, it doesn't. Why should then silicon link with other silicon atoms? Have you understood it? If silicon can get the stable configuration by somehow, if silicon can get the configuration by somehow, then it will not be forming this catenation. Carbon, there is no option to get the stable structure, and that is why carbon is undergoing the catenation. So silicon will not be showing any type of catenation. The next one, tetravalency of carbon, as it is been told, carbon has got atomic number 6, electronic configuration 2, 4. So it has got 4 valence electrons in the 4 valence electron. So it needs to get the stable electronic configuration. It will gain 4 or it will lose 4, it will be sharing. So number of electrons that a neutral atom gains, loses or shares is known as its valency. So carbon has the valency 4, and that tetravalency is the one which makes the property of catenation. Now why this tetravalency? It is in a similar manner, carbon can complete its oxidation by sharing its electron. Carbon also combines with oxygen, hydrogen, and other elements forming compounds with specific properties depend on the elements and other atoms present in the molecule. The bond formed. One reason for forming stable strong bond is small in size. As a result, molecule nucleus of carbon can hold the shared pair of electrons strongly. However, the bonds formed with the elements having larger atoms are weaker. Carbon forms. Now, all these things are interconnected. Catenation is a self-linking property of carbon. And why carbon undergoes a self-linking property? Because of this. Understood it clearly? Tendency to form multiple bonds. This is also one more reason. All these things ultimately comes to one and the same. It is tetravalency. Now, it can form single covalent bond between the carbon atoms, double covalent bond between the carbon atoms, or triple covalent bond between the carbon atoms. And why this bonding is? Because as I told you, carbon has got 4 covalent bonds, right? So if it is sharing its 1 electron with certain electrons, so the hydrogens are shared, and if one more electron is needed to be shared, it may share with other carbon atom, and that is what is we have studied, catenation. And if hydrogens are not available, it is forced to share its 2 electrons with other carbon atom. That is also possible. And in that method, the carbon forms multiple bonds. Understood it clearly? So that we'll be studying it just now. So understand it. Carbon's unique property. What are the unique property of carbon? First one is its tetravalency. And due to tetravalency, carbon shows catenation. It links with other carbon. And when carbon links with other carbon atom, it can form single covalent bond between the carbon atoms, double covalent bond, or triple covalent bond between the carbon atoms. Clear this? Okay. Now the next one, hydrocarbons. Compounds of carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. compounds of carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. Broadly, hydrocarbons are classified into two. First one, as I told you just now, aliphatic and aromatic. Aliphatic and aromatic carbons. Aliphatic hydrocarbons, as I told you earlier, that hydrocarbons which are open chain. The chain in carbon atom is open, or the chain in carbon atom has got branched. So when the carbon chain is not enclosed, that becomes aliphatic. And aromatic hydrocarbons, a carbon is forming a closed chain. Here the chain is closed. And this is what is aromatic. So we need to do about only aliphatic hydrocarbons. Now, so what are aliphatic hydrocarbons are those which are what? Open chain between the carbon atoms, right? Aliphatic hydrocarbons are classified into two. They are saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. So what is hydrocarbons are classified into two, aliphatic and aromatic. Aromatic is not part of the syllabus, so we need to do about aliphatic. Aliphatic hydrocarbons are again classified into saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Understood? What we are doing is such hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons is compound of carbon and hydrogen. Now, saturated hydrocarbons are those which are one single covalent bond between the carbon atoms, and unsaturated ones are a double covalent bond or triple covalent bond between the carbon atoms. Saturated hydrocarbons are those which are what single covalent bond, and unsaturated hydrocarbons are those which are what more than single, that means double or triple. Now remember, there are no 4 covalent bonds in a hydrocarbon. Logical question. Hydrocarbon means compound of carbon and hydrogen. So carbon need to share at least 1 electron with hydrogen, then maximum electrons left are 3. So that is why if 3 pairs are shared, that is unsaturated hydrocarbon, 2 pairs are shared, unsaturated hydrocarbon, and if 1 pair of electron is shared, that becomes a saturated hydrocarbon. Understood? There won't be any 4 bonds in a hydrocarbon. Carbon has got 4 electrons, and if the 4 electrons are bonded together, then it becomes only carbon. How can we call it as hydrocarbon? Have you understood it clearly? So saturated ones are those which have got single covalent bond between the carbon atoms, and unsaturated ones are those which have got double or triple covalent bond between the carbon atoms. Understood it? Now the next is what we need to do is saturated hydrocarbons. Clear? So first one is saturated hydrocarbon. Let's take what is the saturated hydrocarbons. All those hydrocarbons which are a single bond between the carbon atoms. Hydrocarbons which are a single bond between the carbon atoms are represented by CH2 plus 2 and is known as alkanes. So, and this is what is part of the syllabus, which is known as homologous series. Homologous series. See, organic compounds are very, very large in number, and it is impossible for us to study all these elements for all these compounds properties. Therefore, we classify them into certain groups, and these groups are known as homologous series. So, what do we say that? The group of organic compounds to be represented by one and the same general formula. Any group of organic compounds which we can represent it with one and the same general formula, they belong to one homologous series. And one such example is this alkanes. Alkanes is the first homologous series which can be represented by the general formula CnS2n plus 2. CnS2n plus 2. This is what is the homologous series, where N stands for the number of carbon atoms. So if the carbon atom is 1, C1, H would be 4, and this compound is known as BA. MEPHA. And if N is equal to 2, we will be having C2H6. This is known as ethane. And if we C3H8, that is known as propane. And C4H10 is known as butane. And C5H12 is known as pentane. What we are doing is homologous. And first homologous series that is what is alkane. Any group of compounds which are coming under this general formula CnH2 plus 2. Understood? It has a single bond between the carbon atoms. Anything, any compound. Suppose like if you take C12, C12, S12 is 24 plus 26. So when we have C12 carbon atoms, 26 hydrogen atoms, then between them there will be existing only single covalent bond. You understood it clearly? So that is what is any hydrocarbon which comes under this general formula. Any hydrocarbon that comes under this general formula is having single bond between the carbon. And I will explain some of the structures of this molecule. These names are important. So methane, ethane, C3H8 is propane, C4H10 is butane, and C5H12 is pentane. This 5 are over. And the rest is all simple. C6 means hexane, 7 carbon atoms heptane, 8 carbon atom octane, and that's what it is. Now let's study about this one. Let's say CH4. The bonding structure I told you carbon is sharing one electron with the hydrogen. So this forms CH4 first one. Now let's take the second one. Now remember, when any molecular formula is given, you just understand whether it belongs to alkane series or not. You just check that formula. CnS2n plus 2, if that is there, you just check it. Understand? And if it comes under that, let's say for example, C3H8. So C3H3 gives us so it is an alkane. And once you have come to know that the compound is an alkane, that means between the carbon atom there is single bond. So what we need to do, 3 carbon atoms are single bond between the carbon atoms. And you know that carbon has got 4 covalent bonds. So it is sharing its electron with hydrogen over here, hydrogen over. So this carbon has got 4 bonds, right? And this carbon needs 2 more, so it is completely ready. And the last one is also ready. So we get the structure, we can write it as CH3, single bond, CH2, and single bond CH2. Now remember, when this bond is written, it is between the carbon, not just continuous, it is between the hydrogen. Understood? When there is, when a hydrocarbon is given, it will be 25 carbon atoms, and in that 25 carbon atom, there will be a bond. All the 25 carbon atoms will be involved in a chain. So it will be having single chain, single covalent bond, double covalent bond, triple covalent bond, that is different. But there will be a chain formation. So we can say that CH3, CH2, CH3 is a compound that becomes propane. Understood? Now let's take C6H14. C6 is the plus 14. So it comes under the general formula CnH2n. It is an alkene. So we can write it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Understood? And this carbon needs 3 more hydrogen to complete the octet. Completed. This carbon needs 2 more hydrogen. This carbon needs 2 more. We make the structure in this regard. Whenever the structure is made, you keep counting in your mind whether carbon has got all 4 sides get out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every carbon atom is getting its bond completed. So, and this is the structure of C6H4. Understood? So, what is important? Any hydrocarbon is given, it is your duty to find out whether it belongs to alkane or alkane. Look for, apply the general formula. And once the general formula is put, you come to know that it is an alkane, and then the structure is very simple. Clear? So this is about alkane. Now the next one is, the next homologous series is the alkene series. That means we are going to go over unsaturated hydrocarbon. The hydrocarbon which has got double bond between the carbon atoms, that is CnH2n, is known as alkene. And if it is an alkene, then we have a double bond between the carbon atoms. So the N stands for number of carbon. Now let's say here, if C1, then H would be 2, right? And carbon has got 4 bonds to be completed. So we still the hydrogen and these two are not satisfied. So for this unsaturated hydrocarbon, the value of N must be greater than or equal to 2. Understood? The value of N must be greater than or equal to 2. That is, it should be more than 1. So therefore, the first number is C2H4. First number is C2H4. The second number will be C3H6. Third number is C4H8. So this is the question. Is the first number or second number in the alkene series. So remember, unsaturated hydrocarbon, the value of N begins from 2. Remember that. For unsaturated hydrocarbon, value of N begins from 2. Remember. Understood clearly? So when C, carbon is 2, hydrogen is 4, C2H4, carbon is 3, hydrogen is 6, carbon is 4, hydrogen is 6. This is how the molecule is obtained. Have you understood it well? So C2H4, C3H6, C3, C4H8. So these are certain alkenes. Now, like as I told you earlier, they will give you molecules starting with C3H8, C4H8, and C2H6, and C7H16. And certain molecules are given it, and ask you to find out which of them belongs to alkane and which belongs to alkene or which belongs to next. So what you need to do? Simply you identify, put the general formula in this. 2 to the 4 plus 2 6, it is alkane. C3, 3 to the 6 plus 2, alkene. C4, H8, 4 to the 8, this is alkene. And this is also alkene. This is similar to alkene. And once you identify whether it is alkane or alkene, it is very easy for us to make the structural formula. Have you understood it clearly? So, alkenes is the next homologue series, which has a general formula CnH2n. Have you understood it? You may get different types of questions. Sometimes it will be asked, identify saturated hydrocarbons from the following. So what do you need to do? Apply the general formula. Identify the alkanes in the following, apply the general formula. Identify, classify them into saturated and unsaturated, apply the formula. And once that is done, and the rest is, we can make the structural formula of these compounds much easily. It is very easy to make the structural formula, provided you must understand which type of homologous series it belongs. And if it is alkane, single covalent bond, alkene, it will be a double covalent bond. And I will take the third case. The third one is, third homologous series is alkynes. When there is triple covalent bond between the carbon atom, then it is alkyne. Same like that of alkenes. Understood clearly? So the general formula is CnH2n minus 2. Now remember, there is a difference of 2 hydrogen atoms. Alkane CnH2n plus 2, alkene CnH2n, and alkyne CnH2n minus 2. Understood it clearly? So let's take the first number is C2, 2 to the 4 minus 2 is C2H2. And if the compound is C2H2, because since it is alkane, within the carbon atom there is and then get it to the hydrogen. Have you understood it? Let's take one more example of this one. C5H8. 5 is a 10 minus 2. So we will put in 5 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon. Understood? And since it belongs to alkyne, there must be a triple bond. So you put the triple bond in here, I put the triple bond over here. Now this carbon needs 3 more hydrogen. This carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is obtained. This needs 2 more hydrogen, and this needs 3 more hydrogen. The molecular formula of the structure becomes automatically or the engineering for you. But what you should understand is whether it belongs to alkane, alkenes, or alkynes. And if it is alkane, as I told you, single covalent bond, alkene it will be a double covalent bond, and alkane it will be. So you must understand. And one question is this way: 6 or 8 hydrocarbons may be given to you, different molecular formula, and will be asked you to identify them as alkane, alkene, and alkyne. You can do that and you get the general. The next question, what can be likely to be asked is the third member in the alkyne series, fourth member in the alkene series. This is a typical question which is generally asked. And when it is third member, means remember alkene or alkyne. Alkene or alkyne, what we say, they are unsaturated hydrocarbons. And if they are unsaturated hydrocarbon, the value of N will be begin from 2. Understood it? So the first member should be 2. So value of N must be begin from 2. So first member of alkene is C2H4 and alkyne is C2H2. So remember that. And saturated one, N will be begin from 1 and unsaturated one, N will be begin from 2. Understood it clearly? This is all about alkane, alkenes and alkanes. Understood it? The next homologous series, we are done it. So characteristics of homologous series. Characteristics of homologous series. All the members of the homologous series can be represented by the same general formula as discussed earlier. So the second one, between adjacent homolog, there is a difference of CH2 group. 1 carbon and 2 hydrogen is the difference between adjacent homolog. And when CH2 means, there will be the difference of 14 units mass. So what are the first characteristics of homologous series? Group of compounds to be represented by one and the same general formula constitute homologous series. Between adjacent homolog, there is a difference of CH2 and 1 carbon, 2 hydrogen means there is a difference of 14 units mass. The members of the homologous series have got similar methods of preparation properties, and there will be gradual change in the physical properties, and that is regarding the physical property. For example, CH4, methane is a gas, ethane is a gas, butane, C5, and when it comes to 8C8H18, it belongs to liquid. So as the molecular mass of the homologous series gets increased, the physical characteristics slightly change. Slightly change means their melting point and boiling point will be increased. So they have got similar methods of preparation. These are the general characteristics of homologous series. Have you understood it? There is a difference of CH2 group represented by the same general formula. 14 unit is the difference in the mass between two adjacent homolog. Have you understood it? Gradual gradation in the physical and chemical properties, gradation in the physical properties according to the increase in molecular mass. These are the things which are taking place. Have you understood about the homologous series? This is certainly homologous series. And there are many homologous series. Organic compounds are all made up of homologous series. Don't just think they're only hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons and the derivatives are called organic compounds. Derivatives mean that will be having oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and other elements attached. And these all will make the compound. What do we say that? As organic compounds. So all organic compounds are classified into different types of homologous series. So we have studied about first among the hydrocarbons, alkanes, alkenes, and alkenes. Remember the question what I told you. You may be asked to identify the alkane, alkene, and alkyne. Maybe asked you to identify the saturated and unsaturated. Maybe asked you to find out the second and the third member, and maybe asked you to find the name. Name is what has happened. When it is alkane, so suppose like 2 carbon atoms, EPHA, ethane, that is C2H6, and C2H4, when it is alkene, we say that instead of ANE, it is ENE, and when it is C2H2, it is ethyne. Understood the difference? Ethane, ethene, and ethyne. So when it is alkane, ANE, and alkene, ENE, and alkyne, it is YN. Remember that. So suppose like C4H6, it is butane. C4H8 is butene, and C4H10 is butane. Remember the name. ANE stands for single bond, ENE stands for double bond, and YNE stands for the triple bond. Understood it? So that's all I'm winding about here. Kindly mark your attendance in the comments column.